All right. Welcome back to Squib Kicks, a podcast of the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. I'm Eric Rhodes, always alongside our trusty producer, co-host, genius Ben Schulich. Ben, how's it going?
It's going great, Eric. I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, it's that time of year. We're in August. It got here so quick. You know, we both have kids getting ready for school. I'm sending one of mine off to college at Tennessee. Everything's happened so fast, but the beauty of all of that means we are days, hours, if you will, away from football, which you've heard a little bit about from some of our coaches. We'll have some more coming today, but didn't that get here quick?
It did. August always sneaks up on you, but I don't know. I don't know what it was with this year. The Olympics, kind of made things speed up, or the newest college football game, which we can talk about later. If that sped things up, but yeah, it's here. All the teams are in fall camp. I think the coaches poll came out today. The new top 25 poll came out today, so it's definitely that time of year.
Yeah, I mean, now we get to argue with our friends about stuff that doesn't matter, right? About who we think should have done what, who should be ranked where, what our favorite teams are going to do, their projected records. But man, we got to do a lot of that over this summer. Football now means that we've been doing some work over the last few weeks. You've already seen part one of our podcast featuring some of our coaches from the Mountain West. Today, we're going to hit part two with Troy Calhoun. Man, I'm so excited I can't even talk. Troy Calhoun, who's a great friend of the Bowl. Air Force came here back in the day. Just love Tucson. Tucson loved them. We would love to have Air Force back here in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. We're going to see Sean Lewis, who's a friend of ours, not just from the Mountain West, the newly minted head coach of the Mountain West at San Diego State, but from our days in the MAC with Kent State, Coach Lewis. And then, of course, Spencer Danielson, who is kind of like the up-and-coming young gun of college football. He's been around a while, but, man, I got a chance to meet him and chat with him, which you're going to hear. And, folks, the beauty of live television, if you will, is there's always a chance that you're going to have some snafus. So on the Coach Danielson interview, you can hear him really well, but not me so much. But that's how it should be. We're just there for his answers. So as you're listening to that stuff, man, he's got some exciting things to talk about. Ben, I know you've seen all these interviews. What were you excited to learn about?
Well, I was just excited to learn about some of the new coaches and their thoughts on being in the conference and their teams. And, what I'm really excited learning about is from you, just the response at the media days that you're at Mountain West and the MAC of our new title sponsor and presenting sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate to travel to Las Vegas to meet with the Mountain West Conference, which, as you mentioned, 7 new head coaches in the Mountain West this year. So a lot of excitement there, a lot of, changing ideas. You saw them for the first meeting where they all got together. I think it was Wednesday afternoon. They all started to trickle in, and it took about 0.3 seconds for them to be in a huddle in the corner talking football and camp and all the things that were coming. Which was great. And then I was with our great partner, the Mid-American, in Canton, Ohio, home of the Hall of Fame, which is an amazing place. I had not been there before, so what an honor to be there. But Ben, to your question, everybody is fired up over Snoop. First question, as we've mentioned here on the pod before, do we get to meet him? And I was like, well, come to the Arizona Bowl. Win 9 or 10 games, and we'll talk. That's kind of what I share with everybody. Yeah, have a great year, and then we'll talk. We'll talk later when we'll see you in Tucson. But we have a vertical banner that has his photo on it. Vegas a little bit different than the Hall of Fame, so we were in a 21 and older facility at Circa. So Cam joined me on Thursday there at Mountain West Media Days, and we were like Costco of gin and juice. We were able to serve small samples to people, in these little cups, and man, overwhelming response to the product. People taking their photo with the Snoop picture everywhere, the helmet. We have one of the great logos in college football, right? We'll touch a little bit more, as you
No
mentioned, on College Football 25 and being able to see our logo there in the game. But man, people, as they should be, and as we've seen right now, I'm sure both you and I have the Olympics on in our office. Snoop is everywhere. And that was the beginning, how it was at the media days on both sides. Everybody wanted to talk Snoop. Like it has been at the Olympics, and we're going to just carry that momentum right on. You know it, man. He's everywhere.
Yeah, man. Every night it's been fun, especially on the primetime coverage, how they have like that segment, the highlights, follow that dog. Him and Mike Tirico just kind of break down the day. I mean, the badminton recap was just so fun and so entertaining.
Need this, give me that. Need this, give me that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told people before, and we've said here on the pod, I think the exciting thing for us is how excited he is. But now America, really the world, is getting a taste of just seeing the energy of Snoop Dogg and the passion he brings, and how exciting that is for us, Ben, to know that's coming right here to Southern Arizona.
I just can't believe how lucky we are. I mean, think about it. Any other year, I mean, this just, the stars are aligning with having Snoop Dogg at the Olympics in the same year as year one of the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. I mean, what more can you ask for in terms of extra publicity and promotion?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. My gosh. I mean, we could not, I mean, if we would have paid, we would have been in the high seven figures for this kind of attention to a title sponsor. I mean, my favorite, social media message, meme, GIF, whatever you want to call it's going around is, I don't know who decided to make Snoop the national mascot, but we're all here for it. Like, I mean, he's everywhere. He's excited, and we're going to bring that same energy to the Arizona Bowl. And coming up right after the music, we're going to tell you about some of our new coaches who are excited to also get the experience of the newly minted Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Troy Calhoun of Air Force, Sean Lewis, San Diego State, and Spencer Danielson of the Boys in Blue from Boise State coming up after this. Welcome back to Media Days here 2024 in Las Vegas. I have one of the scholarly gentlemen of the coaching profession with me, head coach of Air Force, Troy Calhoun. Coach, welcome back.
Well, thank you. Honored to be here, Eric.
You visited us in Tucson several years ago, 2016, I believe. We had a great time with you in Air Force. What do you recall about your Arizona Bowl experience?
A magnificent week. And the practice facility, we had so much space. I think we were on one of the old spring training practice fields, and it was magnificent. Certainly the stay out at the JW Marriott there on the west side. My kids loved it. They want to know why we didn't have a swimming pool and a lazy river there in Colorado Springs during the month of December. And then just overall, I mean, just the hospitality, the quality of the food, fantastic bowl game. Would love to be back. And it's one of those places where they're magnificent when it comes to supporting our service members, whether they're down at Fort Huachuca or right there in Tucson at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base.
We were just chatting with Kim Madera, executive director, how much we loved Air Force. We'd love to have you back. So let's talk a little football. You've got some players that's going to put you very likely in a bowl eligible position. Talk about your leadership. The two young men yesterday, phenomenal young men that are leading your program.
Yeah, great young men. The maturity, the way they want to help others. And just high quality guys that'll be fine officers in the future for our Air Force or our Space Force, since we feed both.
And so, Coach, we always talk about Air Force and the lifestyle that it takes to be a service member with one of the academies in the cathedral, literally, of college football there in Colorado Springs. How much is that in your daily thought process of what these young men are pledged to for our country?
Well, it is. You think of the young men and young women, the choice they've made to come to the United States Air Force Academy, and they're well aware of the rigors, day in, day out academically, the military, the squadron obligations that they have, and then ultimately they're going to serve. And So it's most certainly at the very forefront of everything you do.
So tell me about this year's team, Coach. You've been at Air Force a few minutes now. What should we look forward to about this team?
I don't know. That's not the response I realized you were seeking. We have 3 starters back on defense, and we have 1 starter back on offense. We have some of our specialists that do return. Boy, what a brand new endeavor. And yet the drive, the will of this group, I really, really look forward to get going in August.
Does that keep you fresh on the coaching standpoint of like, man, I get to coach these guys up? It's a whole new group. When you have a full team returning 9 or 10 starters on both sides versus what you have in the cupboard this year, is that refreshing for you as a coach to dive in like that, or is it terrifying?
Every day is a new day, and I love it, regardless of whether you have a bunch of returnees or not. My preference would be to have a few more than we have yet. Again, you can't wait to get out there and go to work and get this baby cranked up.
And we're here with the Mountain West, Coach. You've been a proponent of this conference for a long time and the power that it has. It's growing daily, and its reach is expanding. From a football standpoint, tell us why you're proud to be part of the Mountain West.
Well, I think you look quality schools, how well you look in a good number of sports, how strong the league's been, how exceptional, this year to gather all those tournament bids in the NCAA basketball tournament, how competitive we are in the bowl season amongst all of our schools. And I think certainly that can be the case going forward too.
So, Coach, last thing, I've asked every head coach. Everyone seems to have a mantra: go 1-0 this week, be the alpha, whatever. Air Force is a little unique, so I understand this might be different. But is there a mantra with Air Force football?
There's not. We have no team slogan. We have no team song. Boy, we don't have any sayings on a shirt. I mean, we're just, line up, go to work, and get a little bit better, and realize how lucky you are that you do get to play college football and you have really good teammates.
I mean, I guess you don't really need a mantra when you have the Thunderbolt and the American flag behind you.
It says plenty for sure. Now don't forget, especially being down there in the Tucson area, the old shark tooth, the A-10s also. So the history
Coach,
there.
I still have that helmet in my office. It's one of my favorites of all time. I'll tell a quick story. When Air Force was with us in Tucson, we got to go out to Davis Monthan on the flight line and take a photo of the shark tooth with the A-10 Warthog plane and some of the yeomen. It was incredible for me to watch these young men look at their future, look at what they've been working on and training for in their time in Colorado Springs, and just look forward to them being I took great pride knowing that these were the young men and women who are protecting our country, which has got to be something you look out your office window every day and remember, I'd imagine.
It's incredible. It really is. To know that we have young men and young women that realize that freedom's not automatic. You got to go serve. You got to go earn it. And again, the greatest attribute there is liberty. But we got to fight like crazy to make sure that it is a certainty.
Coach, I can't thank you enough. It's always great when we get to talk football, but more importantly, what people like you and those young men and women mean to our country. So thanks very much. Have a great season. We'll see you soon.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome back to Squib Kicks. We're here at Mountain West Media Days in Las Vegas. Beautiful. With me right now, doing some improv, taking a knee because he is a very large man. Head coach Sean Lewis, freshly of San Diego State. Welcome, Coach.
Appreciate it. Yep.
We got to know Coach a little bit on the other side of our conference coin when you were with Kent State in the MAC. You've made some transitions. you're in San Diego now. I mean, that's just gotta be like you're living the dream, right?
Just kind of keep making my way west, right? It wasn't too long ago. I was the OC up in Syracuse, getting pounded with 160 inches of snow when I was up there every winter, and have made my way literally all the way across the country to America's finest city. And life is amazing in San Diego, and so humble and proud to be able to lead, our great young men at San Diego State.
Yeah, you said the word humble, but you got a squad. I mean, you guys can make some noise this year. A lot of new faces, a lot of new teams. Obviously, you're going to bring your own wrinkle there to Snapdragon, but you got to be excited about what you have in house already.
Yeah, I mean, our staff has done a tremendous job, and from the day that we got there, really hit the ground running, on the recruiting trail. And I think one of the biggest things that we were able to do is retain a lot of our key pieces when we got there from, a team and from a locker room that has a championship identity about it, right? And then being able to supplement and bring in other pieces that are going to fit, the stylistic changes that we're making. So, yeah, happy with where we're at, the work that we've done thus far, and really, really excited to get to training camp and take all these individuals, right? There's 50% of our roster will be brand new when we get into the season. So to take all the individuals and become a team and put something special on the field for 2024 it's an exciting time to be an Aztec.
Man, exciting time in college football, changes all around. Is it hard to keep that culture, number one, or is that? I mean, it's got to be such a challenge every day.
Yeah, I think it is, right? I mean, you got to understand, obviously, how dynamic culture is and the shifting landscape and all the things that are happening within college football, obviously, impact that and affect that, right? But at the end of the day, if you're doing it for the right reasons and you're building a culture that the kids are taking ownership of, I think that will really become a difference maker with the landscape and the way that it has shifted in college football, right? To where you're able to get a team that can rally around a set of ideas, a set of beliefs, a system style of play, right? That's going to be able to see through all the adversity that you're going to have in the upcoming year, right? And be able to be stronger and more resilient because of it. And again, rally around that ethos of, our Aztec fast style of play and our mantra of being the alpha and being able to do those things at a really, really high level.
Coach, you now find yourself in one of the epicenters of stardom on the West Coast. We went that way and we found Snoop. We were talking off there a little bit about your camp and some of the faces that just showed up at your passing camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being in sunny San Diego, America's finest city, obviously people make their home there. And, we're able to, on a daily basis, shoot Eric Weddle's popping in, Drew Brees is popping in, obviously Marshall Falk in the area, proud Aztec alum. You never know who you're going to run into on a day-to-day basis on campus at San Diego State.
You guys have a tough schedule this year. I mean, it's tough playing the Mountain West as well, but I mean, you schedule the big guys. Like, what are you looking forward to most out of week one?
Yeah, I mean, so we get an opportunity, right, to open the year and start against Texas A&M Commerce. And so, our beautiful venue at Snapdragon, every time that we get to go in there, it's a unique experience. It's something that we take great pride in and great privilege to play in that beautiful venue. But to have that first opportunity to kick off this new era and this new brand and new style of play, to maximize that, and then to have Oregon State come down, the next week and the challenge that is going to present, and then to go on the road the following week up to Cal Berkeley, are going to be a fun early test. All three of those will present unique challenges, but I'm eager and excited to see how we respond to all of those, those challenges, and when that real contact's made, to see exactly what we got, right? Like, we're going to simulate as much game-like atmospheres as we can in practice and through camp, but it's not until the lights truly come on, really what you got, and who you're rocking with for the season.
And you mentioned Snapdragon. To our listeners, if you have not been to the stadium, you need to go. It's one of the great places in college football. They did it right. It's absolutely. The size of the stadium feels big, but it feels intimate at the same time. It's got to be a really nice recruiting tool for you, not only to be in San Diego, but to have a facility that's pretty new like that.
Yeah, I mean, our athletic director, J.D. Wickard, and everyone involved in that project did it right now. I mean, it is, I think, the best college football stadium, in the country in terms of features, sight lines, and then obviously a stage to be able to, play on, right, and to showcase, the abilities that our young men have and the product that we're going to put on the field. So, yeah, when you get a prospect on campus and you're in, again, beautiful San Diego, right? And you have this unbelievable first-class stage to perform on and to present who you are. I think it's second to none, and we've really seen a great return, on that investment. and now looking forward to seeing our community rally behind our guys and have each and every single Saturday where we have a home game in the fall. That's a spot to be at in San Diego and get the party rocking there in Snapdragon every single time we kick the ball out.
Oh, man, it's a great spot. Like I said, if you haven't been, you got to go. Last question for you, Coach. Every coach has their own mantra. We're going to go 1-0, whatever it is. Football is family for us. What's Sean Lewis? What's your thing with your boys this year?
Yeah, the thing that we've always rallied behind is to be the alpha, right? And so to lead your life, know where you're going, and then to improve and compete on a daily basis to become that. We talk about stacking these +1 moments. So that be the alpha mantra, again, lead your life and then have a +1 moment by improving and competing each and every single day. That's our mantra. That's who we'll be. That's our process day in and day out.
I love it. Be the alpha. You heard it right here. Coach Lewis, thank you so much for your time. We'll be right back with more Squib Kicks right after this. Welcome back to Media Days here in Las Vegas. I have with me the star of Boise Island, head coach Spencer Danielson. Coach, welcome to the show.
Eric, appreciate it, man. I've been looking forward to talking with you guys. It's been a great day so far. Appreciate it.
You're about 48 hours into Media Days. What's the experience so far?
It's been awesome. It's also great getting around the coaches, but being able to meet a lot of media that maybe I haven't met before and being around just a bunch of different people. I love meeting new people and talking about our program, talking about our players. I love them dearly, and you get me talking about our players. We'll be here all day.
So, talking about your players, you guys are the brand about this. Boise State, not just it's a brand in college football. What's it like for you to step onto that stage? Is it intimidating? You got to go, right? When you took the job, you signed that paper.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's since I've been there. This is year 8 for me at Boise State. And for 17 straight years, we've been picked to win the Mountain West. That's the standard. We have not won the Mountain West all those years. And that's my talk to our team. Guys, all these preseason awards and accolades, you deserve them. But that's past work. We've got somewhere we got to go and push forward to in the future, and we got to go earn that every single day. So that's the thing I love about Boise State football, Bronco Nation, is the expectations are extremely high. And if you don't like that, don't come to Boise State. I tell that to players and staff. That's what it is. Every single game we roll into, no matter where we're playing, anybody, anytime, it's on. And I'm so humbled and honored to lead our football program. I'm excited to push it to new heights. Yep. Ashton Genty, everyone will see what he's done on the field to this point through his sophomore year. But what people don't know is just the type of young man he is. He's a 10 out of 10 human being, and I don't say that lightly. He's the guy that's first in the building every day, last to leave, works his absolute tail off on the field, in the weight room, off the field, training himself, and he brings people with him. If someone does something they shouldn't on the field, they walk or something, Ashton Genty is the first to handle it because he loves his football team. But not only does he do it just with his words, he does it with his actions. And so I can't speak enough about Ashton Genty, who he is as a person. On the field, he's a nightmare to go against. I knew that as a defensive coordinator. He early enrolled as a freshman, and so no one knew about him. He was this early enrollee freshman. I think he was 17 years old. Looked like he was 30 with how he was built. But he comes in. It was scrimmage, I think, number 1 or 2, and he breaks like an 80-yard run for a touchdown against our starting defense. And I remember being like, oh, boy, this guy's going to be special. So I was right.
So Genty looks 30.
Yep.
You might often get mistaken for being a player.
Correct.
How does that go for you?
I just need to get my biceps bigger and look like Ashton. And probably get a better beard. I'll be in a better spot, man. Oh, yeah, I get it all the time. What position do you play? No, I'm the coach here. So.
You walked in yesterday. It's like hard.
Yes. Oh, they did. Oh, they for sure did. Yeah.
That's funny. So, we're mid-July. Are you just ready to get football?
I'm fired up. It's been really cool to see our team grow through spring ball. Now we're in summer training where it's on the field in the weight room. A couple more weeks we'll start fall camp. And I know for our players and our coaches, we can't wait to get back with them and get to work. All the preparation, all those things. Excited to put them into grinding together on the field and having a great fall camp. And then we got a big-time opponent and flying out to Georgia to play Georgia Southern. So it's going to be hot. It's going to be a hostile environment. But I know our staff and our players are excited to get back to it.
What's the mantra? Last question. everyone has, go 1-0. I was talking to Coach Lewis Smith's PD Alpha.
Yeah.
What's the mantra for you? What's his name?
Yeah, we talk a lot about being built different. And because for me in college football, there's so many, well, this is what you should do. This is the box that people want to put you in. This is what this school says you need to do, or this. To me at Boise State, like, it's a different place. It's a community that's expectations to the roof. We got a blue field. Like, things are different there. And how we train and what we do every day needs to be different. It needs to be different than who we play, because everybody has the same amount of practice hours. Everybody has the same amount of meeting time. How are we going to be different? And if we don't do it different and are on the cutting edge and outwork people, it's not going to matter. And I want a group of young men that stand up for things that are different, no different in their own personal life. Like, if things matter to you, stand up for them. Be different. And that's the biggest thing that I'm pushing our team right now is just owning that part of it too. Because Boise State forever has been a blue-collar program. That's who we are. And once again, that's different than a lot of places. But I want our team to embrace that as we push forward.
Love that. And line one more because you brought it up. Every one of us across the nation has seen the blue turf.
Yeah.
From a coaching staff perspective, do you try to use that to your advantage?
Yeah.
Is that part of the game?
Oh yeah, I mean it's special playing on the blue. I mean, we'll practice on the blue. When teams come to play in Albertson Stadium, like it's a hard place to play. I mean, I think the winningest team in the country at home, or one of the winningest teams in the country at home since the turn of the century. And that's a testament to our community. It doesn't matter if kickoff's at 8:30 at night or at 10 a.m. on a Friday, Bronco Nation's going to show up and be loud. They love their football team. That's not the same everywhere. That's different. I mean, this place loves their football team. They know their football team. You don't walk down the street in Boise, Idaho, and then be like, Coach, how's the team? They're going to tell you how the team's doing. They're going to say, like, hey, you need to be better on third down too. Like, they love their football team. And that matters to me. That matters to our players. The support for our players is through the roof. And so playing on the blue, there's a special – it's a special deal when teams come to town, and we got to make sure that's where their dreams come to die.
Well, watch out for the Broncos. It's fun to watch. My kids affectionately call it the Smurf turf,
Yeah.
but it's so much fun. That brand, they're going to be exciting.
Yep.
Coach, thanks for making this.
Eric, appreciate it. God bless you. Thanks, brother.
All right, Ben. I'm going to tell you a little story now that you just heard from Coach Danielson that happened in Las Vegas. You can see he's a very young-looking guy, tons of energy, tons of excitement. Hard not to run through a wall after you spent 10 minutes with this guy. But he looked so young when he showed up on the way. Some of the attendants at the Mountain West made him go to the check-in desk to check in, and they're like, what's your name, sir? And he's like, I'm Spencer Danielson. And they're like, who are you with? I'm with Boise State. I'm sorry, we don't see you on the list here anyway. And it took about 3 minutes for somebody to realize, okay, that's the head coach, Coach Danielson. He doesn't need to check in. Somebody just come get him. He's got handlers.
We gave him the trophy last year.
So humble, right? I mean, and he just, he was so pleasant to everybody, shaking hands with asked about my family. I know him for 20 minutes before, the next day, he's like, oh, your son's off to college, right? I mean, just the nicest guy. And really, that's kind of the theme all around for all our coaches in both conferences. Great guys leading great programs, and it's so exciting. You heard me ask a few times, what their mantra is going into this season, what each one. I really liked hearing one of those, down to even coach going, we don't have one. Just play football. just go play football. Which kind of makes me think, Ben, and this is maybe for our next episode, maybe even for Kim's High Five. What should the Arizona Bowl mantra be? I mean, we have some hashtags, of course. We have the kitschy little the social medias platforms, but if we had one on the wall that we slapped every day going out the door, Kim's a huge Notre Dame fan, so she'd want play like a champion today. But that's not happening. We need to be unique. We need to do special. So if you're listening, actually reach out to us. Tell us what you think. You can find us on the website. What should the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop? What's our mantra? What should it be? Mine could be right now, I am terrible at video games. Because I used to think I was good when these games were out, but I know, Ben, both you and I were, got the pre-order of College Football 25. We're so excited to play. If you haven't, check out our social media. It is so cool to see our logo and see the Arizona Bowl and hear, the crews on the game broadcast talking about the Arizona Bowl, to see it in the EA Sports, like it's in the game. Did it give you chills the first time you played it, Ben?
Oh yeah, I was so excited. I had to pause the game and go into like the replay camera where you could zoom around the stadium and zoom in on different parts of the stadium. So I'm checking out the logo on the field and the logo that's on the field wrap around the field. Then they got the awnings. I mean, it looks like how our game is going to look on December 28th with how Arizona Stadium is all going to be dressed up with our branding.
Oh man, it is so exciting. And you would talk about, this is the old man in me. Every time my sons are playing video games, I'll walk in and I'm like, that looks like a movie. Like it doesn't even look like, the graphics are so good. And the graphics in this game are incredible. I mean, they're so good. Ben, I imagine you're playing with your favorite Michigan State.
I have been Michigan State many times, yeah, and that you're right. The graphics and the level of detail. I mean, they got all the little crowd chants and cheers that the each stadium has. It's amazing.
Yeah, how you doing with Michigan State? I'm playing as Arizona a lot. Tucson native.
Yeah, I'm not doing very good. I'm not good at all. Every game is a struggle. Throwing a lot of interceptions. Really struggling with the RPO plays that those definitely weren't available back in the Sega Genesis days.
Yeah, I mean it's killing me. For some reason I can't throw a screen bubble pass to save my life. I'd skip up a sack every time. I'm like, hit the button. Nope. And my sons just laugh at me every time. I will say, after a couple restarts of a few games and a few seasons, I did lead the University of Arizona to a national championship.
Nice.
It was.
Did you
great.
do the dynasty?
I did, yeah, and I forgot to recruit along the way, so year 2 might be a little bit rough.
Okay,
so I was just excited to see, but yeah, the boys in blue here in Tucson, we had a good year. I did have to start the game over because I did like what everybody does. So tempted to throw the controller. I'm like, that's just not realistic. There's no way that linebacker is over there covering to pick me off. I mean, absolutely was. It was just a terrible throw, but yeah. Yeah, or the tackling. I think there's been a lot of social media, going around of that's not realistic. And then people put actual game footage of people just busting through every tackle known to mankind. But yes, at my ripe old age of 47, I'm like a 16-year-old again going, okay, maybe I have an hour here I can play. It's fun to play. And it's just our world. This is what we live and breathe every day. So it's so cool and gratifying to kind of be able to see our teams play in the Arizona Bowl, play as your favorite team, create your own conferences. Maybe we create an Arizona Bowl conference just of all the Mid-American and the Mountain West and see what happens. But it's cool,
maybe of all the teams that have played in the Arizona Bowl in the past, we just make a custom conference that way. So you got Georgia State in there, and
maybe what we should do. The marketer in both of us is always, our brains are always turning. We should go back through the years and see if we can get a student athlete from each school to recreate the year of the Arizona Bowl and just stream it on Twitch or something like that.
Yeah, they have that. They have that team builder thing where you can, make a custom team with logos and uniforms and all that. So you probably could do that, make a whole roster of those. Go back in time and make a roster. Though I don't know with the NIL nowadays, they'll probably get in trouble for creating players that did not officially sign off for their name.
Right.
Image and
Yeah. Seriously. I don't know. We're having Snoop at quarterback, so yeah. He's gonna be a scrambler. Not so much of an arm, but that guy's gonna be able to run.
I have a feeling he would kick both of our butts. You probably saw that thing where he was pulling out all the items out of his bag that he had with him in the Olympics, and one of them was his controller. He was very adamant that he has a special Xbox controller for playing the college football video game.
Yeah. I mean, if we all had the energy and maybe the resources of Snoop, I'd have a custom controller too.
Sure.
But I do have a feeling there might be some new controllers being bought every day after some people are throwing too many RPO interceptions or fumbles. Definitely. But I mean, you'll definitely have an option to play in the Arizona Bowl. If you haven't seen this game yet, find somebody who has it. Go to Ben's house. He'll have you over.
Sure.
and you can play some college football. It's a lot of fun. And again, I mean, so cool. The Arizona Bowl is out there. Our logo looks amazing at midfield. You see the gin and juice logos on the 25s, the bowl season logos. I mean, it's so cool and so much fun. Now that I'm saying this, I feel like we might have to break out the Xbox in our office and give it a go this afternoon. Have a little in-office tournament. We'll update you on the next episode of Squib Kicks.
Nice.
Ben, we're weeks away from college football. What are you most looking forward to?
Oh man, I'm just looking forward to just seeing the action on the field. One thing that's been tough with college football, I think, in the last year or two is just all the off-season stuff, all the stories about, conference realignment and the house rule. I'm just looking forward to seeing people play football.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think for me, like, I just love, week 0. I even watched the Hall of Fame game for a little bit the other day because I'm like, oh, it's just football. It's fun to watch. I think I'm really excited because both of our conferences, the Mountain West and the Mid-American, they schedule hot and heavy in the first 3 weeks. And so they're playing some big names and big games. So I always try to tune in them all. I'm like, all right, let's see who can pull an upset or stay in this game and make it interesting and have some fun. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. Of course, we will, as a staff, be at some of those games. The University of New Mexico opens right here in Tucson, or is Arizona's home opener. It's week 2 for New Mexico. And then up the road, you'll have some folks, our friends from Wyoming, from Laramie. They may be familiar with Arizona. They open their season up at Arizona State up the road, so we'll certainly have some friends there. But
no matter how hard they try, they can't get away from us.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to one of their staff members when I was in Las Vegas, and he said, it's going to be really interesting that we will have played 3 games in the state of Arizona in our last 13. I was like, well, There you go, Laramie South. It's a little warmer here, but it's time for that college football heat. Ben, you got anything exciting to tell us about here on the local front? And know you and your marketing team, our amazing Blue Blazers, have some fun stuff coming.
Well, it's like we were just saying, it's football season, so that means it's high school football season, and our Friday night lights and under the lights with some girls flag football. We are going to be out at a game every week, every Friday, and I think we're tripling the amount of girls flag football games with more programs here in the Tucson area have added the sport. So we have a brand new helmet that we set up for the first time the other day. Looks great with the new logo on the side. So yeah, we can't wait to start using that thing.
Yeah, I mean, Ben and his team, they do an amazing job. You'll catch us at so many high school football games, which is part of our fabric, part of our passion, is we want to be out in the community, and what better way to do that than around youth football. Stick with us. We have some exciting announcements coming. Our luncheon date, if you're in the area or you want to come in, it's worth coming in for. Kickoff luncheon, October the 24th. We will have some special guests, including the new executive director of the College Football Playoff. That's a gentleman you will not want to miss. I've heard him speak a few times. And a couple other surprise, exciting guests.
And a new location.
That is a new location. We'll be at the Westin La Paloma, the lovely Westin Paloma, which is one of our team hotels. So come get the team experience. Join us. Have a good time. For all things Arizona Bowl, you can check us out at thearizonabowl.com. TheArizonaBowl.com. It's got all the things. It's got all the stuff. Ben, anything I'm missing, bud?
No, I think you covered it all.
All right. Well, I mean, on that note, I feel like it is time for us to say au revoir, like they do in Paris. See what I did there? And we'll see you soon. We'll talk more Snoop. We'll talk more Arizona Bowl on the next episode. I was going to do something cool with the next episode, and it didn't work out. There's the music.
There's